And to do that, you really want to be in the mystery of what is happening right now. So you can use those long nights while they're still here. Before you go to sleep, sitting at the edge of your bed or lying there with your hand on your heart. Hello, I'm Tessa Lynne Alburn. Welcome to the Say Yes to Your Soul podcast, where we empower women to connect with their souls and shine in their business. If you are ready to embrace your brilliance, create meaningful connections, and be compensated for your specific gifts, you're in the right place. Join us as we explore inspiring stories, practical insights, unique points of view, and soulful strategies, all to help you thrive. So let's dive on into this transformative journey together. Tune in and say yes to your soul. Hello there. Today is December 23rd, and we are now in our winter season. And a couple days ago, I led a solstice ceremony, and it was an honor to do that and to hold the space for the people who felt a calling to be there. And even for the ones that wanted to be there and couldn't be there. There were conversations behind the scenes, and people felt supported even though they couldn't physically make it. And this really got me thinking about sharing this with you and my impressions and my experiences with solstice, because for me, it can be a really profound time. And I think there's a huge opportunity for anyone who's wanting to expand their sense of soul, to expand their sense of connection with the universe, and especially with the etheric realms. And so, of course, we're also in the busyness of holiday at this time. And what I'm noticing about many people, through their expressions or their frustration or their busyness or their desire to meet all these needs, right? The meeting needs of connecting with family, perhaps, or connecting with others, or giving back and volunteering, and also needing connection themselves so that they don't feel separate or unwanted or like they don't belong at this time. And I think this is regardless of whatever your beliefs are. And so what happens is I see people putting themselves out there to receive external validation, right, with the fulfilling of other people's needs and just even maybe the FOMO of, I need to go to that, I don't want to miss out. But what's happening is there's a lack of actually taking time for themselves to connect within. And in the Northern Hemisphere, where we're having winter, these first few weeks can be a profound time to connect with yourself. And so I want to encourage you to utilize this time of the season, especially now through the next couple of weeks as we go in, as the winter is really beginning and the light is just starting to return. This is a very powerful time of connection with the realms. Often in our humanness and our idea of like what makes a great year and what happens here and there and the value of the world around us, winter can be seriously underacknowledged in its importance. And it really is as important as all the other cycles, the moon cycles, the tides, the other seasonal cycles. And winter is not just important because we can go skiing on some rad mountain someplace. And for time, eternity, as long as people have been on this planet, which is a long, long time, our human existence is connected very much to the growing seasons and to sunlight and to darkness, right? So, we don't think a whole lot about darkness, but that's our time of rest, right? On a daily basis in our 24-hour cycle. And we know that sunlight's important to our moods and to stimulating vitamins and production of hormones and all these things in our bodies. But for as long as people have been here, there have been a number of practices and rituals to mark every season of the year. And so even with all the religious and cultural events and celebrations going on, whatever your personal beliefs are, it's also a very important time for inner work and inner connection. So thinking about the seasons, let's look at it as a metaphor. When we think about seasons, we almost immediately connect in sustenance, right? Food and the growing season and baby birds hatching in the spring, stuff like that. So we tend to look at spring as the time when things sprout up or new beginnings and kind of birthing is happening. And then the summer is the season of growth. So plants, for example, are already established. And then the warmth of the light is nourishing them and the soil is nourishing them. And then the fruits and the vegetables expand and grow into that beautiful miracle of food. And then in the fall, we have what we call harvest season. And it's thought of as a time of abundance, reaping the rewards of all the labor and all the work that went into things during the spring and the summer. And we collect and we prepare for a still winter ahead. Now, of course, some of this has changed over time with the advent of grocery stores where we can have foods shipped to us from other parts of the world. But there still is a very deep connection to the seasonality of things, psychologically as well as physiologically. There are even people who have written books. There's research on, eating foods of the season are better for us than eating whatever is in the marketplace. So let's talk about winter for just a moment. Winter, in terms of agriculture and for farming, winter gives the land time to rest. There needs to be a period of dormancy where it's not growing something. Instead, there are other things happening. There are other chemical reactions and enzymes being created, and pests are being frozen. And we typically don't plant, we don't do much to the ground in the winter. We let it rest because it's needed at a bare minimum. That rest is needed then. And the rest, the dormancy, is part of growing. And so when we look at this from a human, psychological, or soul perspective, we also want to include stillness on a deeper level than, let's say, what we can include in our daily practices throughout the year. And of course, what we often see right now at this time of year, people are hustling and bustling, just like the songs say, and expending all this energy and money and hurrying up and creating rituals out of obligation, and sometimes not. But there are many people still acting out of obligation to try to fulfill something or recreate an emotional connection that they had when they were 7. And then after the busyness of the holiday season, then we kick it off into New Year, and then there's a celebration, and then there's some kind of strange miasm around needing to set a new goal at the start of the new year. But I actually want to say this is not the time to do it. It would be better to be in rest. It would be better to be in stillness, letting the inner earth of our beings rest and shift and integrate, and allowing spaciousness for our own soul knowing to come forth even more. For me, this time of year is the most holy. And it's for this reason. The stillness provided in the resting phase of winter, in the still a lot of darkness, in the darkness, when the veils are thinnest, we can access wondrous amounts of support and guidance from the ethers, from the angelic realms, from the spiritual realms, from the divine. And we need to rest in order to make those connections. And I'm not talking about just falling asleep exhausted at the end of a day of holiday celebration, but instead to rest with conscious intention and awareness. And you may be wondering, what might this look like? Well, it might look like going within and spending 5 to 10 minutes a day just sitting in silence, no agendas. You could set a simple intention. And that intention, I'm going to suggest that it does not include the word have in it. So it wouldn't be, I'm going to have this, that, or the other, even if it's a feeling. Instead, an intention works best when you open to it. When you want to create something and then you allow yourself or give yourself permission to receive it. So an intention might look like, I intend to open to receiving greater abundance. Or I intend to feel more joy every day. I intend to free myself of old ideas that no longer serve me. So there are some examples for you. Another way to utilize this wonderful time is to utilize your dream world. And to do that, you really want to be in the mystery of what is happening right now. So you can use those long nights while they're still here. Before you go to sleep, sitting at the edge of your bed or lying there with your hand on your heart, ask your psyche to send you dreams that will help heal you and help you open to love. Or you could use one of the intentions that I just mentioned or your own and see what occurs. And you may or may not remember the actual dream that you had or dreams, but you might feel different. You might notice that you're calmer or that you're starting to have more joy or feel a little more free as things sort themselves out and you are able to also receive messages from the beyond. And that's another way to work with dreams. You can ask to receive messages from spirit, from loving, compassionate spirit to guide you on your way. And as you sit in silence or you dream into the mysteries, it is also possible that stuff will come to the surface. And what you want to know about that is as you're clearing or receiving or shifting, it can get a little bit messy, and then you just want to acknowledge it, right? So if you're a little moody one day, that's okay. Acknowledge what it is you're feeling, ask what it is you need, and then come back to stillness and come back to presence. I think it's a really profound time to learn more about and to release, like really get under and know more about what is going on with you. It's also a great time to dive into the shadow and to understand it better. So if you're feeling courageous, that could also be a practice. the main thing is to reconnect during this beautiful time with the depths of your soul, the angelic realms, and the enlightened masters. And to support you with this, I have a special meditation for you. It includes a connection with dolphin and whale energy and a lovely trip through the cosmos. To listen, you can go to sayyestoyoursoulpodcast.com/multiverse meditation. And I will include that link in the show notes for you. Thank you for listening, and thank you for being on your journey to greater soul connection. May you know peace in your heart and the joy of stillness. Bye-bye for now. All right. If you're hearing this message, you have listened to our newest Say Yes to Your Soul episode all the way to the end. And for that, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I invite you to stay updated with me, and the best way to do that is to sign up for my free gift, 3 Steps for How to Reignite Your Soul Fire. And you can get that at tessafreegift.com, tessafreegift.com, or just go to the podcast website, sayyestoyoursoulpodcast.com, and that's where we have all the episodes and more. I wish you an amazing day.